Thank you very much, and we welcome you to the working session of the Garrard County Board of Education. The superintendent and all board members are present. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order, and if you would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. If you would stand with me, let's say the pledge to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, our first order of business tonight is to adopt the agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Okay, Mr. McQuarrie made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion or question? Not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The vote was 5 aye. All right. Next is new superintendent standards. And Mr. Stowe, if you'd like to share those with us.
This month, we're looking at standards 5 and 6. 5 is managerial. You can take a look at that, see that it deals with the operations piece, the work around the district, and standard 6 is the collaborative leadership component. As we talked a few moments ago before the meeting started, you'll have a chance to review these, and I'll have a chance to share information with you about each of these standards and what we've done connected to those standards on May the 18th. So you have access to these standards at any time. Anytime you have questions, please just let me know.
Thank you very much, sir. And after the capstone, are you finished?
If they say that I did it right,
They say you did it right.
they say I did it right.
So it doesn't matter what we say.
Oh, no, that's a whole different story. You get your shot on that one, the evaluation piece. So,
Okay. All right, item number 3 is to review the regular meeting agenda items. And where do you want to start, Mr. Stowe?
anywhere that you all would like to start, I'll be happy to. As you all know, the first part is pretty normal. Unless you have questions about it, I think we went over everything on Friday relative to this. And if you guys are okay with it, we would just jump down to reports and start with the treasurer's report, since Stacy's with us and be able to walk you through that if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Okay, so for the month of March, we've got a total cash balance of $8,282,309, which is up by approximately $1.6 million compared to the last year. The next couple of pages goes over each fund individually, and I'll look at the ones that have the largest variance. Our general fund cash balance is about $6.4 million, which is an increase of approximately 1.4 when compared to last year. And as we've discussed in previous months, those are attributed to the COVID relief funds that we get from the federal and state governments. Our special revenue fund, of course, that balance fluctuates month to month just based on whatever grant activity we have. Our school activity fund balance is $318,466. And again, those are funds that are maintained at the school level that we've had to start reporting this year. So that's why there's a variance there. Now you'll notice that our building fund cash balance is a negative $18,328. So we expect our final allocation of our building funds either in May or June. So until that time, our general fund kind of has to float building fund. Our food service fund, the cash balance is $661,071. That's down by about $325,000 when compared to last year, which, you know, we've been spending the money on our spend down plan, the middle school cafeteria, trying to get that money spent down. And then all of our other funds that have not been mentioned had minimal changes. So, and then as always, you have your monthly financial report. I've tried to highlight anything that you need on it, and I'll present that each month with you. So if you have any questions.
John,
All
appreciate it.
right, thank
We have
you.
enough funds to operate another month, don't we?
We do, we are good.
Right,
Thank you.
at least.
So the next item is the bond potential. You all had a chance to see this on Friday when we met with Garrard, but displaying it again. Currently, you're $27 million in bonding potential. That's back up a couple of $1 million since last month. And of course, as you all heard on Friday, you know, that will fluctuate between now and next month and the month after that. So we will keep you up to speed on that. This information comes in right before the board meeting, just a week or so in advance. So it's about as accurate as we can get for you. So we appreciate Barry doing that. There are a number of items on the consent agenda that we walked through. If you have any questions about any of them, I'd be happy to talk about them. If not, I'm fine with moving on to the action agenda item. Do you have any questions about any of the service contracts that are being renewed? Okay. Under the action agenda items, the first item that we'll ask you to address on Thursday night is the student accident insurance for the coming year. And as you notice on there, it's a $900 decrease in premium from the current year to next year. Continues to give us the coverage that we need for our students. And so we're thankful for the fact that we're going to save a little bit of money and still be able to take care of students if we need to. Hopefully we never have to utilize this policy, but if we ever need to, it's there, and I'm glad it is. Any questions about that one? The next item is a request to approve a district-wide athletic director's position. That would be combining the middle school and the high school position, lumping those two sums of money together, and then adding an additional $7,000 to create a $25,000 position for that spot. So any questions you have about that, happy to address either tonight or Thursday. Next item is we have currently 3 existing administrative positions in the district that are not on our administrative pay scale. And I would like to move them to that administrative pay scale. If we're going to have administrators in the district, I think we should probably treat them in an equal fashion with all other administrators. One is the second assistant principal's position at Garrard County High School. The other 2 are assistant principals at CDR and LES. And if you approve this on Thursday night, then thankfully Dr. Lamb pointed out that I had not included the next item, which is item D, and that relates to creating a new administrative pay scale. So we've talked previously, I think you all have talked before, about the idea of having an administrative pay scale that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit clearer to what we than what we currently have. And so we've attached that. I have to go back and add it to the hard copy, but it's good on the online copy. And what I would like to propose, if you approve that on C, that on D, we move those 3 to the new administrative pay scale and start using that as a transition piece to eventually get all of our administrators moved over to something that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more transparent to all of the community. So thank you for catching that, Dr. Lamb. Appreciate it. Our next item would be a request that's a pending something happening, but we would like to request 7 math interventionist positions be created, but only if we receive the clean funding of ESSER 3. It's not something that we would try to fund on our own, but if we get those funds, we think it would be a great opportunity to address math in the district. We think that would be an appropriate place to do it. These positions would be 2-year position. It would not be a situation where we'd be trying to roll all 7 of these positions forward. And the focus behind these positions would be in supporting our staff, but also supporting our students. So there's a job description that would go with it. We would ask you to approve those positions with that job description, again, pending the ESSER 3 funding. We believe that's coming. We don't anticipate a problem with it, but we would certainly not want to put this in place without that funding being there. Next, we would ask you to approve the final SBDM allocations for the 21-22 school year. It's the same level of funding in the initial allocations that you approved in February for release in March. May 1st is our deadline to release this, so we're not changing any of the allocations at this time. If something happened in the fall that we needed to add, we would certainly come back to you and ask, but at this point, we're not anticipating that. All right. Y'all are very quiet. Not complaining.
Before the storm.
The next item is to request permission to release an RFP for architects for potential projects. It does not preclude your current architect from being your selection, just gives you the opportunity to actually go into the workplace and make sure that anybody who is interested in working with you on any potential problems that we have go out that way. The RFP is designed in such a fashion that it talks about new construction and it talks about renovation. And we try to include projects that could be funded and could be selected by you. So it's not specific to any one project. It would allow you then to interview them, and we can work through what that process looks like once we get the candidates submitted to us.
I noticed bus garage was included in that, so that doesn't mean that everything in that list would be included in that.
That's correct. I think if you read through the RFP, you'll see that it says if approved, and you all will be the people who make that approval. So if you approve the bus garage, then it would be something we would expect them to do. If you approve a renovation project, that would be something we would expect them to do. If you approve a new construction project, that'd be what we would expect them to do. So we've asked for all of those things so that is the information you get to use in making your decision on who your architect would be. The next item is still on the agenda, but I'll be honest with you and tell you that we may have to ask for it to be tabled. Last month, you all approved Patrick and Associates for the audit for next year, but as part of that, we have to then approve a contract, and that contract comes from KDE. Stacy has done a yeoman's work trying to get them to submit that to us, and they still have not. She even checked as late, I think it's Friday, and they said that maybe we would get it this week. If we get the7contract between now and Thursday, we would present it to you and allow you to make that decision. If not, I'll ask you on that night to table this item. Each year, KDE gives us a list, or not a list, but a percentage that we can use for indirect costs. We don't have to bring it to you for approval because KDE is the one who approves it, but we think it's wise to put it in front of you so that you know about it. We also would remind you that at this time, we haven't asked any of our grant organizations to contribute that amount of money, and I would encourage you not to do that at this point, but we do have to show this as part of us recognizing that from KDE, and again, we don't get to set that rate, they do, and so it's kind of a formality. The next item is a request to move 16 individuals who are currently working as long-term subs onto contract. A few years ago, these positions were eliminated, but the positions ended up being needed. And so the positions have been filled since that time through long-term subs. The problem with that is that they're not under contract with us, which means they're not eligible for any kind of benefits or anything of that nature. So our staff took a look at it, and if we place these 16, if we create these 16 positions, interview for these positions, these same individuals get them. If they work 4 hours or more, then they're entitled to those benefits, and it happens in such a fashion that it's zero cost to the district. So it seems kind of, it doesn't make anything happen for us, and it does keep something from happening for them. If we make this change, it doesn't cost us, and then maybe they can take advantage of an opportunity for them. So we'll ask you to approve those. Reliance Work in conjunction with the Bluegrass Local Workforce Development Area has offered to come to our district once a week and do a sanitation project for us in our schools. And they contacted us today. They've done a walkthrough. They're ready to start. I think they'd start tomorrow if we would let them, but we told them that we would not do that until we had your approval for that. And a delay of 1 week is not going to hurt us in any fashion. This is no cost to you. It's an ad for us. The place where you may save some money for this is that they'll come in and do this work using their equipment and their supplies. And that's one night. We don't have to do that with ours. So that's a money savings for us and no cost whatsoever.
And our custodians will be there with them.
Sure, it would be they would be there at the same time. There'd be no difference as far as their work schedule. Yes. We'll ask you to approve a change order for CDR. This one's strictly about weather days. The project is done. This is just getting paperwork in order so that there's no problem with that. I know change orders are nice when there's no cost. We'll ask you to approve 2 pay applications for Schiller regarding the GMS exterior door project. One for $37,230.50, and the next one for $7,631.88. This is work that's already been completed. Next, we'll ask you to revise a BG4 regarding the energy savings project. And once again, this is one of those, it's just paperwork. We have to do this to get the paperwork lined up so the project can be closed out. Again, no cost involved. We're going to ask you to surplus 4 buses. Once you do that, then we will attempt to sell those buses, and any funds that we have will go back into the general account. The 4 buses are listed for you. All of them deal with oil leaks in some capacity. All of them have gone through the depreciation process, and that's done. They're listed there for you.
All of the full-size buses.
Yes, sir. And then the last one is a request from 4-H to use the bus this summer to transport our students, our kids from Garrard County to their 4-H camp. And we'll ask you to approve that. They'll be transported on our bus by our bus drivers.
I saw there's 38 students and 10
Yes, sir.
counselors.
Yes, sir. And they know that they have to comply with any still in place guidance from KDE or the CDC. So if the restrictions still exist, numbers, they'll have to comply with that. They're okay with that.
And they requested one of the buses for vehicle just for luggage.
I believe so. So there may be some options that we can help them with them. Yes, sir. And then we'll ask you to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Not yet. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I don't look forward.
Well, I will throw in one thing if I can. I know that you all unofficially talked about changing the calendar for July. I will be adding that to the agenda for Thursday night so that you can do that officially and so that everybody will know that that change has been made.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Now,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. McQuarrie makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hart, second. Anybody have any questions? All in favor, say aye. All were in favor. Thank you all. This meeting is adjourned in 19 minutes.
It's a record.
Can you believe that?